Aloha, it's Chandler, and I have the lovely Tessa here. Today we're doing massage for the neck and back and shoulders due to tension related to a car accident. It also can be just a stiff neck. This is really good for flexibility, mobility in the neck, and reducing sensation or pain. So I like to start just by taking a deep, slow, easy breath. Really making sure the exhale is long and drawn out. It's important to note that if you're getting massage for anything related to being in an accident, that you wait at least 6 weeks or talk to your health practitioner about their recommendations. This is more for chronic tension after you've recovered and for loosening the muscles involved in that kind of protection and tension of the neck. Just going to place a hand on each shoulder. It's always good to just assess where the body positioning is, how the hands are laying, where the neck is laying, looking at the cervical spine, and taking a breath at the occiput, curling my fingers in towards that bony ridge in the skull. Those little teardrop muscles. They do a lot for holding the head on the spine. Occipital muscles on each side above the cervical spine. And then you have the deep bones, the atlas and the axis, that really hold the head on the top of the spine. So just acknowledging those deeper structures, taking a breath. I notice that a lot of people really like having the area near the occiput massaged. However, there are these muscles along the sides of the neck. You have the scalene muscles and you have the SCM. And those muscles are usually involved in turning. They're also commonly part of a whiplash scenario. So just make sure when you're working with any sort of pressure that you are careful with those side muscles and the muscles around the spine. We tend to have a lot of protection happening in our neck, especially if there's trauma or injury. I'm just taking a thumb, feeling out the trapezius on the left side. Rotation of the shoulder, the pec attachments. I like to use organic essential oils when I'm doing anything on the skin, really, with changing or softening the tissue. This one has absolute rose infused with hemp seed. Just start start with a little easy petrissage in the trapezius. You might feel the rib cage, which isn't really what we think about when we think about our backs being tight. But a lot of times the ribs can be involved in any sort of spot that's sticking out. If there's any forward shoulder posture due to compensating. Sometimes even recovering from a car accident can take a while because you still have to drive all the time and you're getting back into a situation that you have memory related to injury. So if you have had something happen, take your time on how much you're driving, where you're driving, and really try to work through that. The memories tend to be stored in the muscles that help us in our recovery from injury. So I'm just taking my fingers and just raking up towards the spine on each side of the trapezius, which is kind of that big muscle that curls over like a scroll on the top of the shoulders. And before I work on the anterior neck, which is the front of the neck, I like to work on the easier stuff first. So I'm going to touch in on the left side scalenes with my thumb, and I just have a flat pressure moving in towards the spine. Tessa, I just want you to breathe slowly, really lengthening the exhale. So I'm holding a point with my thumb, just pushing in towards the spine. And you can take a little time here, just feel out that sense of resistance or congestion in the neck. And if you feel a spot that feels harder than the rest, a lot of times that can be a tight muscle that needs a little time to stretch. So make sure you're not going too fast. And everyone's depth of pressure in their neck is going to be a little different, especially if they've had an accident. And I find if you get more massages, say you get a massage once a week to tackle change in the body with an accident or an injury, you might find the first one that you've had in a while is really sensitive, and then as you get working, kind of like working out or yoga or running miles, you add on miles as you get more comfortable. Same with massage. Maybe your depth of your session goes deeper as your body feels more trusting. Maybe you're getting to know a new therapist and right away it feels like, whoa, so much pressure. And then you start to build a level of trust. And the body knows what it can handle. All right, I'm going to take another point a little further up. So I'm kind of cradling the neck in my left hand, and I do think it's important to try to practice massage with both hands, because you can get really right-handed. Like any other job, you can get really comfortable on one side. And so what I'm doing is just kind of holding the spine, feeling the cervicals. You have these little bones in the neck that can go all sorts of ways. And when you have a car accident situation, a lot of times one of those bones or several can get turned to one side. And so when you apply pressure on the cervical spine or the spinous process where the muscle meets the bones, you're creating a brain connection with how that feels. You're also offering some pressure to a place that might be really stuck. So I'm going to show you this on this side. Are you right-handed, Tessa? Okay. So good to note which hand is their dominant hand, because you might notice one side being having more hypertonicity or strength. Taking a pressure point in here on the scalenes, does that feel like too much pressure for you? Okay, good. Are you okay with a little more pressure there? Okay. So I find with several places in the body, there's this place that's almost too much pressure, and then there's this place that gets past that point to being where your body or your client's body is going to tighten up. So I would go slow. That's the way you figure that out. So is that about right? Okay. These muscles are involved in turning the head, rotating the head. They're also stabilizer muscles. So if you're working on a desk or computer or staring at a screen in any way, maybe you're focusing on a steering wheel or driving or anything emotionally involved, we tend to tense the front of our neck. So this kind of massage would be good for anybody. Not that anyone's gonna like it, because it's not the same as getting like a really nice back massage, but the neck does so much, and a lot of times I find people even avoid having their neck worked on because it tends to be tender and uncomfortable. So I'm gonna rake through the intercostals a bit and just touch a bit on the pecs. Come down into the deltoid on each side. Sometimes the shoulder attachments are tender as well. At any point in these instructional videos, you can always just go back to a place where you feel comfortable. Maybe you're listening, maybe you're falling asleep, maybe you're actually working on someone, but you can always go back to just this really easy petrissage. Maybe switch to using the top of your hand and just giving a little massage that way. And then when we're doing the more specific points, you're not necessarily trying them, but for me, I like to hear something first before I try it. Kind of helps my brain learn, but everyone's different. Maybe you just jump right in, or maybe you have someone at home with a headache or chronic neck tension, and you just have the ability to visualize, and you're not watching, you're just listening, and that's okay too. So I'm going to do a little pincer palpation, which is taking the muscle and separating a little bit and then just offering some pressure on either side. So I'm going to turn her sternocleidomastoid muscle. Give it a little stretch. And you can kind of practice, or you're going to go closer to the ear with it, further down towards the clavicle. You can take 10 to 20 seconds on a trigger point if you've learned that kind of therapy. There's a lot of different therapies that offer energy release, and they're called different things like acupressure, trigger points, knots, lots of different names for essentially the same thing, which is, to me, it's like a stuck point in the muscle due to trauma or overuse, or maybe just a postural thing, just sitting a certain way. We all have patterns that we watch in our parents, like go back all the way to the beginning. Maybe you have a dad that walks with his feet more out. Some of those postures are learned, and then it does show up in the body all the way from the toes into the knees, into the hips, into the neck. So any just loosening and noticing is gonna help create balance. Going back into the occiput on this side a little bit, the connections of the scalenes. Making sure to breathe. The first 20 minutes for me as a therapist is about grounding, coming to the breath, and getting to a place where you can go further with change in the body. If that first 20 minutes of massage doesn't go well, as far as like pressure and listening and pace, you're probably not going to have a client that is that open to receiving work. So that first 20 minutes, I like to start out kind of slow, especially with neck. Pinching in a bit on the trapezius. And then I'm just angling her neck a little, which is a subtle stretch on the right side of the body. And then again, making that other muscle on the front of the neck slack, giving it a little tractioning out. So I have my fingers on the bottom and my thumb on the top. What can I say about the neck? It can really affect how you feel emotionally. If your neck is tight, it can turn into a headache. If your neck is tight, it can change the way you see things. You're not getting maybe as much circulation. I think that's why a lot of people that get really healing chiropractic adjustments, they tend to get clear vision or hearing after. There's this new sense of balance. I love chiropractic, but I'm also very cautious of it. I think that it's really good to start with massage first. If your muscles are tight, a lot of times your structural adjustment or your chiropractic adjustment won't stay. You might hear some pops, you might feel a little better, but if your muscles are softened, then the bones come next and will kind of follow their lead. So maybe you need a deep adjustment in the neck, but you haven't had a massage in 6 months. I would say get a few weeks of massages and then get an adjustment. Or if you get an adjustment right away, be prepared to be sore. Be prepared to have a week or 2 of recovery from that. That's not the chiropractor's fault necessarily. It's your body, kind of going back into the trauma phase. Like whiplash can be hard, and a chiropractic adjustment can feel dramatic. My best pairing is soak first, Epsom salts. I'm a big fan of soaking, taking baths. Not everyone has a bath, but you can do some hydrotherapy with your shower. That's good too. And then after that, see how your pain level is and get a massage. Talk to your therapist. Ask for the kind of massage you want. That's how you get it. We don't all read minds. We might try, but Ask for the massage you want. And then from there, see, does your massage therapist feel that your ribs are out? Do they feel that there might be more imbalance in the body? They might be able to tell you, oh, you need an adjustment, or get acupuncture, or try cupping. There's so many therapies out there that can create balance. You don't have to live in trauma due to an accident forever. You can recover from it. It might always be there, you know, the memory might be there, but practice feeling better. Practice working on it, working into the places that are uncomfortable. You might notice, you know, your shoulder posture changes. You might notice that you want to stretch more, or drink more water. Just taking a few more occipital holds. I really like that her palms are facing up. This isn't necessarily a natural position for some. You might instantly see the hands turn down towards the table, but I think it's a really good way to gently open up the shoulder girdle. It's kind of like a little yoga for the arms. And it leaves the heart more open. Our energy center, one of our energy centers, that's really part of learning and feeling and understanding our own stuff. I hope you're feeling more relaxed. I really hope you learned something from these techniques, and please get more massages. I look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you so much.
If you enjoy these videos, please join us at PsycheTruthPatrons.com for dozens of exclusive videos and premium programs. We have over 1,000 videos you won't find on YouTube, such as modeling and fashion hauls, exclusive massage videos, ASMR, behind the scenes, bloopers, and much more. It's a great way to help us keep the cameras rolling so we can continue making the content you love. Patrons will get 2 to 3 new exclusive videos each week, so I hope you'll consider joining our Patreon family today. Just visit PsycheTruthPatrons.com.